Imagine being betrayed by the person who's supposed to protect you the most. You're sitting at a family dinner, raising a glass with your father, and suddenly your chest tightens. Your vision blurs. The room spins. That's exactly what happened to me, Ethan Caldwell. But what my dad didn't know was that his little plan to poison me, it would end with him spending the rest of his life behind bars. If you've ever been stabbed in the back by someone you trusted, hit that like button, subscribe, and grab your popcorn. Because this isn't just a revenge story. This is about uncovering lies, exposing a murderer, and finally taking back control. My name is Ethan Caldwell, and until last year, I thought I had everything figured out. I'm 34, living in Seattle, comfortably retired after selling my startup for $5 million. But money doesn't erase scars. I grew up in a house where silence was safer than speaking. My father, Robert Caldwell, used to be a respected real estate businessman until his empire crumbled. After that, he became bitter, controlling, violent. When he drank, which was often, his temper turned into fists. The only person who kept me grounded was my mom, Margaret, graceful, patient, and heartbreakingly loyal to a man who didn't deserve her. For years, I stayed away, built my life in Seattle, kept contact with my mom, but avoided my dad like poison. But last spring, I got a call from her. It was her birthday, and she begged me to come home to San Francisco for a small family dinner. I hesitated. Something in my gut screamed, "Don't go." But I missed her, and against my better judgment, I said yes. I had no idea that one glass of wine would nearly cost me my life. The night was beautiful, lanterns glowing, soft jazz in the background, and my mom's laughter filling the air. For the first time in years, it almost felt normal. Then my father appeared with a bottle of wine, a deep red vintage he called special. "Only the best of my successful son," he said, flashing that fake smile. I hesitated, but under my mom's hopeful gaze, I accepted the glass. The first sip was smooth, too smooth. Then, halfway through, a strange bitterness hit my tongue. Within minutes, my chest tightened, the room tilted, voices blurred into echoes. I collapsed. When I woke up, I was on the couch, my mom's arms around me, tears streaming down her face. She swore I'd only had one glass. My father claimed I'd just overreacted to strong wine. But deep inside, I knew something wasn't right. That night, Mom whispered something that sent chills down my spine. "Ethan, I never told you this, but my father, your grandfather, he died suddenly years ago after drinking wine your father poured for him. I thought it was just coincidence. Now, I'm not so sure. My blood ran cold. I decided to keep my suspicions quiet. I didn't want to tip my father off, but I watched him more closely. 3 months later, Thanksgiving dinner arrived. Same house, same dining table, same special wine. I watched Robert pour it, his smirk just a little too confident. This time I acted. When he wasn't looking, I swapped our glasses. Halfway through dinner, his fork slipped from his hand. His pupils dilated. And just like me on my mom's birthday, he collapsed. We called an ambulance, and at the hospital, the doctors confirmed it. Barbiturates, a powerful sedative, enough to knock out a grown man, or worse. The wine was poisoned. When Robert woke up, he avoided my eyes. He mumbled something about accidents and bad bottles. But I'd seen his face when he fell. That wasn't shock. That was fear. I knew then he'd tried to kill me. I needed proof. Cold, undeniable proof. I sent a sample of the wine for testing. The results came back days later. Extremely high concentrations of barbiturates. This wasn't an accident. This was premeditated poisoning. I hired a private investigator. What we found shattered me. Hidden bank records, forged documents, and then the real bombshell. My grandfather's death certificate was falsified. We got the original autopsy report reopened, and guess what? traces of poison. Robert Caldwell hadn't just tried to kill me. He had murdered his father-in-law, my mom's dad, decades ago for inheritance money. When I showed my mom the lab reports, her face went pale. She whispered one sentence. I should have left him years ago. We gathered everything. The lab results, my grandfather's journal, forged inheritance papers, bank statements. We handed it all to the district attorney. The trial was brutal. Robert's lawyer tried to paint me as greedy. But when the forensic toxicologist took the stand and confirmed the exact dosage of poison, the jury gasped. When my grandfather's autopsy was revealed, when the forged signatures were displayed, when the bank transfers were traced directly to Robert's account, there was no denying it anymore. The verdict? Guilty. My father, the man who gave me life and tried to take it, was sentenced to life in prison without parole. After the trial, Mom and I sold the old house. It was cursed with too many ghosts, too many memories soaked in betrayal. We bought her a small cottage by the sea. She started gardening again, smiling for the first time in years. As for me, I still struggle with the weight of it all. But I'm healing. Some nights, I sit outside, listening to the waves crash, and remind myself, we survived, we found the truth, and we took back control. Because sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't anger, it's freedom. Robert thought he'd outsmarted everyone for decades. He thought he'd poisoned me, silenced the truth, and stolen our family's future. But in the end, the poison didn't destroy me. It destroyed him. And now, he rots where he belongs. If this story taught me anything, it's this. No matter how deep someone buries the truth, it always claws its way to the surface. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more true Reddit revenge stories. And tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? I might feature your story next.